All right. Let me figure out where to put this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pinfall podcast. I am your host, as always, Elizabeth. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Marcus.
That's me. Sorry for the late start, everybody. We had a little bit of an audio technical issue. And if you guys hear anything, please let us know in the chat so we can try and fix it on the fly.
Yeah, we might still have an audio issue, actually. We have somebody testing our stream right now in the other room. But in the meantime, we're going to keep going until we are told that we sound horrible, or Mark sounds horrible, for that matter. But on my end, Mark sounds like he's streaming live to us from 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
So, without further ado, today we watched a child abused by a grown man, and we watched a grown man die. So, a productive 3 hours of Raw, if you ask me.
Yeah, circle of life.
We only had to deal with Retribution, like, in theory, once or twice.
Yeah.
So, personally, a very productive episode. I'm very happy with tonight. I got my good shirt on. Put this on long before I knew how tonight was gonna go. Boy, am I glad I knew that. I got this all together.
So Eldon says I'm still in the static void.
Ugh. Okay. So what do?
I'm going to switch my audio right now to something a lot less fun.
Oh dear.
Alright. How does that sound, Eldon?
You still sound bad on my end.
I haven't switched it for you yet. Alright, is that any better?
Oh yeah! Hey, that's
Okay.
Mark!
I switched to my webcam mic instead.
For the time being, this is, although you do sound like the very stereotypical Zoom business conference call, you sound way better than you did. Oh.
Yeah, the problem will be fixed before Wednesday. Rest assured.
Bold claims?
I'm sure it has something to do with my CPU overheating today.
I was going to bring that up, but I also know nothing about computers, so... Right, my hair's like... I brushed my hair, and now it's tangled again because I moved it once. We are also, I think, in another heat wave, if I'm not mistaken. It was incredibly hot today. So I showered last night. I washed my hair out, and I look like just an absolute lizard again. It's currently 83. It's not an appropriate temperature for nighttime. Should we move it to the news?
No.
I'm dying to talk about the mail, Charlie. Or Mac.
I said, Carol! Carol!
Carol!
But yeah, let's move into the best of the night. Let's mix it up. Let's mix it up tonight.
Okay. So, real quick, let me make my... Since we already had to deal with one technical difficulty, let me open up Twitch real quick.
Real quack.
Quack. Real quack. And just pop this chat out so I can... Okay. Right, Zoom is... Oh.
We're doing everything on the fly
I'm a
tonight.
dummy. I thought tonight was going to be the last night I was going to be stressed. Instead, it is... I'm still stressed. And I'm gonna start the news with
What is going on?
My stream was lagging a bit.
No, there might be a delay on it.
There is.
Yeah.
What I mean is, I opened up Twitch and my stream was lagging.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the news I don't have to look at my sheet for, which is, I believe, yesterday or the day before. The wrestler Kamala passed away. It was a very strange hashtag to run into, because my mind immediately was like, Kamala Harris. Did that happen? No. Apparently he tested positive for coronavirus a week ago, and now I have popped the chat up so I can start talking like a person again. I believe that's probably what happened. Very sad. They did a moment of silence today before Raw in honor of it. I am sure that we will probably see it a couple more times before the week is through.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first bit of news. I don't know if we talked about this last Friday. Did we talk about the members of Retribution that have been rumored?
I
can't remember if we talked about it or if we talked about it on the stream.
We talked about it on the podcast, how, I think, who did we say it was?
Chelsea Green
Chelsea
and Vanessa
Green.
Bourne.
Yeah. Yeah, they're rumored. Also, there was a guy. People were talking about Tommaso Ciampa, but he's way too big for any of those members.
People were also talking about Dijakovic, but he's also way too big.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if we're ever actually going to find out who they are, though, at this point.
I'm sure we will at some point.
I'm sure we will, but, like, will I stopped caring after last SmackDown, so I don't know if it's fair of me to say, will I care?
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Goldberg and Roman Reigns are feuding on Twitter.
They're beefing.
I think. Beefing.
Oh, no, it wasn't on Twitter. Because I think I read you this headline earlier. Basically,
yes.
Roman said, like, slamming your head into a door right before your match is basically dumb. I forget the exact wording he said, but he said something about how it's stupid. And then Goldberg basically just said in, like, an interview on YouTube that Roman is a joke.
Yes. So that's what I heard, actually, because I looked this up later. Vis-a-vis Wrestle Talk. I wonder if they're just kind of trying to set up for, like, what should have happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think Roman's probably going to come back soon. I don't know if he's going to really stay out much longer at this point, because it's been a while, and I mean, how long can a wrestler step away when they're still technically employed?
I mean,
I guess he and Sami Zayn are kind of testing the waters on that.
I mean, look at baseball players. You have players out for seasons and still getting paid.
I guess that's fair. Also, like, they're not part of a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Another piece of news that you mentioned to me is that Xavier Woods wants an interpromotional match with Kenny Omega. I don't ever see that happening, anytime soon at least. But the concept is interesting.
Yeah, and it also kind of gives hope that Xavier Woods will be back soon with wrestling at the very least.
I haven't heard a lot about his G4 TV host push as of late.
I'm sure they're considering candidates right now.
I just feel like that was, like, all over my Twitter feed for, like, days on end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's, like, something in my eye. We're having a fun night. Adam Cole basically said that he was going to walk out of his match at TakeOver against Pat McAfee undefeated. Kind of means I get a vibe that Adam Cole is not going to walk out undefeated. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
This is like my NXT eye for an eye.
Yeah. Although there's a lot less on the line here. Plus, you have a special guest on the show. They're most likely going to win.
Mm-hmm. I thought you just said we have a special guest on the show. I was like,
I mean, if you consider this picture of Randy Orton about to kick Ric Flair, then yes, that is a special guest. Hope everyone admires my nice little creation.
Lord have mercy.
I don't know why you're not proud of me.
I am. So the WWE just filed trademarks for several wrestlers' names. I think the last time they did this was in June 30th, maybe? Or July 30th? I think it was June 30th, where they filed for Drew Gulak, among other names. But this time, they filed for the names Karrion Kross, Indy Hartwell, Casey Catanzaro, and Jake Atlas. So I guess that's a good sign of that's a little bit of job security for them.
Yeah. As far as carrying goes, that might mean a push to the main roster.
Well, I kind of imagine that for I would say maybe for Karrion and Jake, that would have those kinds of implications. I think for Casey, it might just mean a bigger push in NXT because we haven't really seen her recently.
Yeah.
And for Indy Hartwell, since we have unfortunately been forced to watch her for the past 2 weeks now, I guess that means that she's going to get her push into NXT as well. I think Casey's just kind of above that a little bit. That's like Casey's step 2, if you will. And in addition to that, actually, Natty posted a video recently of Tyson Kidd training again. Tyson has not wrestled since Samoa Joe destroyed him and his poor little spine. But he's training again. He is back in the ring, and I assume if you're training for something. Oh.
And he's got one thing that'll give him a leg up in the competition. No spine.
It's probably mostly metal back there now. Before we jump into everything, I'm going to keep this as part of the news because, like I said in my tweet, which I actually have not retweeted or live tweet, but as I said in my tweet, I have some opinions tonight.
Okay.
My opinions tonight. The opinion corner. So Seth Rollins has been kind of put to the task of defending his eye for an eye match, which kind of feels silly to me because, like, a wrestler's defending a match, and then that kind of breaks the story anyways. So, like, why is Rey Mysterio not also defending the fact that he participated in it? I kind of feel bad that Seth's just, like, kind of getting all, like, the shit thrown at him.
All because Rey wanted a nice little break.
That's not on Seth, though. Oh, I see. I didn't understand what you said. Yeah. Recently he said, like, well, if this match had happened in the Attitude Era, fans wouldn't be, like, so like upset by it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I didn't enjoy sitting through that match in the sense that like I didn't enjoy sitting through like The Neighbors or whatever that movie was. Because it stressed me out. It was uncomfortable. But also like it's Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
I expect to be stressed out and uncomfortable. I as much as I didn't like want to sit through it, and as much as I was kind of dreading it going into Extreme Rules, I'm not like up in arms about it in the way that it seems like a lot of people are.
Yeah, wrestling fans are very much like elitist kind of.
I just feel like a lot of times like people are like, oh, wrestling isn't the way it used to be. And it's like, okay, well you got the like raw gore that you've been asking for. Like, sorry it's not Mick Foley getting his head smashed in 20 times in front of his children, but it's something in front of Ray's children.
Yeah, people want traditional wrestling fans want that brutality and like the close to death stuff that is the reason wrestling is scripted and quote unquote fake.
It's just it throws me for a loop, and I really enjoyed it. And it's like, why is Seth Rollins defending the eye for an eye match when AEW had the same eye for an eye match? What? No one's mad at Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
Wait.
Except Vince. Except Vince.
Love lost. That's just my 2 cents. I don't think Seth really needs to be defending this. I think it's kind of stupid. I think it was a crazy match. It was something that we haven't seen in a while. It was different.
Wasn't a good match.
Yeah. It was at least something to watch. Like, better than the swamp fight.
Yeah.
Anyways, I realize that this is a bad time to bring it up considering what we're about to jump into. However,
Our full event.
oh no, I've lost one of my things.
What?
Jewels. I need my jewels.
Wait, there was a red one on the back.
Yep, that's not the one I lost. Not sure why I did that. It's Monday, okay?
Matches promos.
Matches and promos, baby. We're doing good. That's good. That's good enough. So, and Seth signed their contracts for SummerSlam tonight.
Fun stuff.
And Dom also signed his contract for to officially join the main roster, which I have things to say about that as well. I have opinions on that too. My opinion is that he's the son of Rey Mysterio, yes, but also nepotism just jumps out. And like, Ric Flair, rest in peace. Like, even Charlotte went up through NXT. Ric Flair's like a legend, and I would say that he's probably a bigger legend than Rey, just based on seniority. Like, Charlotte went up through the ranks, and all of a sudden, this kid who has zero charisma whatsoever, unless that's like his gimmick is being just bland. And he's had that same absent stare since he was a child. When Eddie Guerrero came out and said that he was actually Dominic's father, same empty stare. There was nothing. So I'm not pleased. And it must suck to be like a trainee just standing there, like working your ass off, and this 23-year-old schmuck is somebody's son, so he gets to go to a Big Four pay-per-view event and wrestle one of the like biggest superstars in Raw right now.
I guarantee, especially after how today went with the kendo sticks, he's not going to be wrestling much. He's going to be taking some hits from Seth. Someone's going to come in and help him. Probably Umberto or Ray with his missing eye.
Don't worry, remember his he's got his nice mask with the little peel off patch.
Yeah.
Will. But also after seeing tonight, I feel like there's no way in hell that they're gonna have him lose at SummerSlam. Like,
They're setting up for Seth to lose.
At this point, I'd rather see Matt Riddle win a title. I hate to say something like that, but my God. It pains me. It really does. So they signed their contract. Dominic comes out the kendo stick because he doesn't have his fists to protect him half the time, so he's got to use something. And Samoa Joe talks a lot, which I love Samoa Joe to death. He talks a big game for a man who's just like, I can't actually fight you, just so you know. I can only sit here.
That's why
say shit.
I think they're building for him to come back to wrestling. Because they said multiple times, like, he can't do anything, otherwise he loses his job. So he might do something, lose his commentating job, and then switch over to actual wrestling.
You know, there's like several scenarios where I can actually see that coming to fruition.
Especially since he's in a 3-man commentating team, they wouldn't be losing out too much if he switched over.
Yeah, maybe Byron would actually have some time to speak, because Byron was not talking a lot tonight. Byron was pretty goddamn quiet. But basically, Seth was ready for a fight. Does some nasty stuff to Dom. I kind of don't blame him. Because at this point, I just feel like he's putting a kid in his place. And when you're a kid that's showing up to wrestling matches in a Givenchy t-shirt hoodie, like he did last week, you gotta be put in your place. I'm sorry. There's no excuse.
I mean, Seth even said he's tried multiple times to get him to stop.
For the sake of all of us. Seth just says, get out of my ring, because Umberto is coming out to fight me now. And I have to go whoop his ass. So, off you go. Then we jump into the Seth versus Umberto fight. Umberto's looking good. He was pummeling Seth for a hot minute there. Slaps Rollins outside of the ring. Rollins then slams Umberto into the barricade. Murphy went to interfere because Umberto's just lying on the ground outside the ring and Seth's tired already. Dominic comes out of nowhere with his kendo stick, like, back away. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I think I missed the most important part of the contract signing, which was that Seth said, since you really like bringing your kendo sticks everywhere, you can bring them to SummerSlam. You can fight me with whatever you want. I don't care. I will beat your ass, and I will have fun doing it.
He's gonna bring a gun to SummerSlam.
Just walks out there with a gosh dang knife. Like, all right, you said. And frankly, Vince would be like, yes, the views. Kill a man live on screen. I couldn't do it with Mick. I'm gonna do it with Seth.
They're still gonna lose to AEW in ratings, though.
I actually had some news about AEW, I think, at one point, and I don't know why. was gonna say something, and then I was like, that's too much AEW news. I already mentioned Kenny Omega. But so Seth gets kicked in the face multiple times by Humberto. Humberto gets up onto the top rope, and Seth kind of is looking like he's going for that belly to back suplex. He's about to take him down, and Humberto says no, and punches him down. Then Dominic attacks Murphy, who's by the apron, or on the apron rather, with a kendo stick, which Murphy didn't care for one bit. Humberto goes to jump, capitalizing on this distraction. Seth gets his knees up. Then Seth just takes over. It power bombs Humberto, stomps him, wins. We have a winner. Then Murphy says, all right, now it's my turn, and attacks Dominic. He looked like a kid getting beaten up in a schoolyard. Oh, dear Lord. It was kind of sad. Seth yells at Dominic as he's back in the ring. And Dominic attacks Murphy, then spears Seth, because again, that's literally the only move the kid knows besides swinging a kendo stick. And frankly, I think that's probably why Seth was like, you can fight me with whatever you want at SummerSlam. I genuinely do not think that he actually knows how to fight.
Yeah.
I really do not think that he knows how to fight. I think he knows how to use a weapon as far as like a kendo stick is concerned. I don't think he actually knows what the hell he's doing out there.
I mean, even Seth said that he's received no training at all.
And I mean, that could just be some like gobbledygook that Seth is making up because it's kayfabe and it's a thing to say. But like, Dominic doesn't do much to like act like he actually knows what he's doing. I feel like in the back of my head, I've got like this Rocky training montage, like Ray just desperately trying to get Dominic to know how to do certain things. I mean, actually, Dom did do a 619. He's got that one down. Right, fine. He's got some training.
No, 619 just runs in the family. It's genetic.
Yeah. The baby comes out and does one, and they're like, oh, it's a Mysterio. Maybe Dom didn't do one out of the womb, and that's why Eddie Guerrero was like, that's my kid.
Oh.
So after he spears Seth, Seth's like, and beats him to no end. He gets the kendo stick and just over and over and over, my dear God, Murphy rips his shirt off. Dominic's, not Murphy's, sadly. And then they get him tied up in the ropes. And they're just back and forth, just slapping the shit out of this child.
He's 23. He's not a child.
He looks so young, though. That's the thing. Is that, like, if he walked up to me and be like, you are just a tall 16-year-old. But that went on for, like, several minutes, and I was like, oh, wow, you guys really did go into tonight without, like, any script, didn't you? It was bad. You looked like shit.
And to top it all off, afterwards, first off, Dominic had a picture taken of him showing all of the marks, all of the lashes that he got, all the scratches and everything. Posted it on Twitter. And I think WWE posted it, and it was on Bleacher Report. And then Murphy changes his profile picture to that bruised and bloodied Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, God. Honestly, like, interesting way to start the night, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, welcome to the team, Dom. And one of the things that Corbin said about being a heel was that you have to enjoy people hating you.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how Seth has reacted at different times over the course of his heel history, sort of get the vibe that he isn't 100% down with being totally hated. I mean, it doesn't help that his whole shtick has been like, oh, the fans are stupid. The fans don't like actually want to see real wrestling. They don't want to see the real winner, which obviously probably doesn't sit well with most fans. I, however, eat that shit up. I love it. I feel like I'm his only supporter. However, but I don't know. I just sometimes feel like he gets frustrated considering all the times that he's like come back after people have like said nasty things to him, or how much he's even talked about the eye for an eye match. So I'm like, just beat up a 23-year-old child of legend. I don't think that's going to sit well with fans either. But who am I?
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
I'm
weird.
just trying to. Okay.
So, imagine Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley are the same age.
Uh-huh.
That's weird to me.
They don't look the same age at all. I mean,
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, I was shocked that she was 23 to begin with.
Yeah.
Dominic, for the opposite reason, I was shocked. Let me just also like that. So then we just say whatever. Anyways, and we move on to Andrade coming out with Zelina in full wrestler's gear. With Angel Garza still wearing velvet. And Zelina demands a moment to talk. She claims that she is totally innocent, which I kind of almost believe. I kind of feel like this was an Angel Garza kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
She claims she's innocent, one way or the other. Dawkins comes out because he's got a match with Andrade. Dawkins basically is like, I don't believe you. But anyways, lights are flickering because retribution. Whatever.
Is this going to be a thing every week? Or, I guess, every episode with Raw and SmackDown?
Retribution's whole thing is they never wrestle. They just cause enough destruction to distract the matches.
Mm-hmm.
So things like MVP screaming about how his losing was unfair and blah 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 happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's the long con, if you will. So Dawkins is in the ring now. He is mad. Andrade manages to punch Dawkins' headband off, which was kind of funny. And then we got a nice hard drop kick to Andrade, which basically made him jump out of the ring. He almost gets counted out because he's kind of freaked out by Dawkins at this point. In order to get back in, he takes Dawkins' legs out from under him while he's standing near the, or while he's actually kind of going to climb over the ropes and outside. Takes his legs out, gets him tangled in those ropes. Then kind of like baseball slides into Dawkins' noggin. It's almost like a very low drop kick. Gets a headlock on Dawkins. Dawkins manages to fight out. It's a sweet little elbow strike to Andrade's face, which I personally thought it looked very nice. Then we got a belly-to-belly suplex. Andrade was trying to get pumped up, sent some double knees to Dawkins' face. Dawkins was looking a little sleepy at this point. Andrade got up to the top rope, and as he jumped down, there was a hard right. A nice hard right from Dawkins, straight to his jaw. There's nothing sweeter than that. Dawkins covers. As he's doing so, Bianca Belair comes running out because she has decided that it is her time to kick Zelina's ass. She drags Zelina off the apron, slamming her face first into the corner of the ring, or the edge of the ring, rather. Dawkins powerbombs Andrade to the canvas. Fight's done. We're good. We move on to Bianca versus Zelina. I was really looking forward to this. But Dawkins looked really nice tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see him holding his own even without Montez. It's nice to see Dawkins and Bianca rallying around
Their boyfriend.
one of their pals. No, I think she's married to him. It's his wife.
Their husband.
Yeah. Both of their husbands. You can see now that I've brushed my hair, you can see how frizzy it's getting in this heat. It's disgusting. So then we get to the match that I was really looking forward to, and the moment it got set up last week, I was like, because I was excited to see Zelina wrestle again. Considering the last time I saw her wrestle was in Fighting With My Family, and she was playing AJ Lee, which was very confusing. Anywho. So, Bianca just out of the gate slams Zelina into the corner. I didn't even know she waited for the bell to ring. I'm pretty sure the bell was ringing as she went. She pummeled her. And then as a ref steps in, Zelina pokes her in the eye. Bianca had Zelina on her shoulders, and Zelina escapes, but Bianca managed to give her a nice little back elbow. Bianca goes to throw Zelina. Zelina reverses it. Zelina went off the top rope, but Bianca managed to catch her because Zelina is small and Bianca is strong as hell. She lifted her up over her head, dropped her to the canvas. Zelina then at one point pushes Bianca's face away, and apparently that's the trigger. That's it. Bianca just beats her down, tosses her across the ring twice. Zelina dodges Bianca, sending her shoulder first into the post made a very loud noise. Louder than I even expected. Zelina had Bianca in the corner, was up on the top rope. Bianca managed to powerbomb Zelina. KOD. Then we had an in-ring interview, and Bianca was talking shit. And then Dawkins stepped in, and Dawkins said, "Do you really think that Montez isn't going to be at the biggest party of the year? You think both of us won't be there?" Oh. I have hopes.
I'm sure he'll be there.
You think so?
Yeah, I think this is just pushing them to win the match against all odds.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him, though, until SummerSlam.
Yeah. Because there's one episode in between now and SummerSlam.
Yeah. And then there's one episode between that and Payback. So.
Yeah. Or unless they win or they lose at SummerSlam, then have a rematch at Payback.
Yeah, that's the thing that's throwing me a little bit about Payback, I think. Which is, it kind of gives everyone a perfect opportunity to be but wait, I was kidding. I want that title back to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Screw off.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is about where I started having a little too much fun, I think. Because we dove into the MVP VIP lounge. And by golly, by God, boys, we were not popping bottles tonight according to MVP. No, sir. We're popping tendons and ligaments, and that is it. So, MVP claims that the lights beat him, not Apollo. Which, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like that's, better.
He lost to the lights.
I'd much rather be yeah, I lost to the man, not the mechanical fixtures hanging over my head. Like, unless one of them fell on him, maybe.
Give the belt to the lights.
He just throws it up there.
He rips off the one hanging on his son's wall and throws that to the lights.
It's just MVP dressed up as a cat burglar, just like peeping in, just scurrying off. Oh god. Shelton also, like, Bobby looked fine. Bobby was like just vibing off in the corner. But Shelton looked like a toddler that was like getting yelled at by his mother and was like, he was about to throw a tantrum. These three men every week it is a new thing with them. And every week I am left more lost than I ever started out. Lord have mercy on them, I swear. But sweet boy, sweet baby boy, Apollo, whitest teeth in the business. Straightest smile in the business too. Comes out, Lash and Shelton go after Apollo. Apollo dives into the ring to go after MVP, and then takes one of the VIP lounge couches and hurls it over the ropes.
That's why you don't have furniture on your set.
Sometimes I wonder if, because like people are always like saying like, oh, Raw didn't have a script going into tonight. It was chaos. And then I watch the episode and I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with this. But also sometimes I just wonder if maybe the wrestlers on Raw are just much better improvers than like the ones on SmackDown could ever be.
Yeah. Except like Corbin. Sheamus.
Because Sheamus just yells at people. That's his thing.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect that grind every day. For whatever reason, we have Apollo versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton beats Apollo up in the corner for a while. Apollo manages a nice drop kick to Shelton. He tries to lift Shelton, but no dice. He gets kicked in the midsection and then just powerbombed into the absolute canvas. He gets headlocked and then gets... I think he got thrown out of the ring. I can't remember if he got thrown out or if he rolled out. Bobby and MVP were very, very benevolent. They were just checking on him when they went up to him afterwards. Just making sure he was okay. So that he could continue his match. Apollo gets his neck against the ropes while Shelton rests his lovely little knees on his shoulders. And then another headlock, and they're just exchanging blows for a while. And both looking incredibly tired, too. It kind of felt like they had done this fight 14 times prior. Apollo got thrown into the ropes, and just, after looking exhausted, he's thrown into the ropes, and somehow finds, like, a second wind in him, and bursts off of them onto Shelton. Gets a nice drop kick to his neck. And he goes to toss Shelton, but Shelton powers out. Manages the cross power slam. Then a nice standing moonsault. The signature. It looks good. Ashley tries to trip Apollo as he's standing near the apron. Apollo kicks him in the face. Then Shelton seizes the opportunity because that's how every distraction ends. Pins Apollo. And then Bobby Lashley's like, well, I have one job, and I'm going to do it right now. And he gets in, and he's kind of like, wrestling him into a full Nelson. MVP's like, no, don't do that. I want him to be healthy. Bobby's just standing over poor Apollo with like his arms just like, okay. And then MVP goes to sucker punch Apollo, who kicks him in the whole jaw. Apollo's like, I'm out. Sayonara. Don't like that face. Don't like that face at all.
It's completely unrelated. I just saw a tweet that came up. There's a new match confirmed for SummerSlam, a new title match confirmed. Braun Strowman is defending his title against Bray Wyatt.
It's not new.
But it's now just made a title match. The match was already happening, but now it's a title match.
So should we have drank? I think we both assumed Bray won. Bray came out of the swamp. We didn't drink. Braun still has the title.
Okay. We're gonna pause on this podcast right now because I saw a tweet from Bray Wyatt, I think earlier today, that puts a new
We didn't say who has the title.
Puts a new thought in my head. So he quoted the DC character Swamp Thing and said, quote, "Everything's a dream when you're alone." That was it. That was that. So that put the little thought in my head, what if the swamp match was all in Bray's head? It gave him the idea to bring Alexa Bliss into the mix. And the Fiend came out, as in came out of his head and has emerged. That's why there were two Brawns. And that's why nothing seems to have mattered after that fight.
If that's the case, they have one good writer for SmackDown. They have made him do this one job. And I feel bad for this person because I'm sure they're not getting paid enough. If that's the case, that's what's happening.
It's probably not the case, but that's just my reasoning to make that match not as garbage as it was.
The only, like, if that is the case, if what you were saying is entirely true, if Bray is leading us down the correct path quite well, then I have to assume that Bray is primarily, or whatever the hell his actual name is, something ridiculous. I have to assume that he is the one who is primarily writing the story. Like, that is the only way I can see that being realistic, because if that's the case, why has everything else on SmackDown sucked ass? There's no excuse after that. If we're getting this cerebral, then that would also, if that's the case, that is the only reason why that was the main event.
Yeah.
That would have to be it. That would make it feel better.
Yeah, and it would also make it feel better the fact that, again, nothing came out of it. There were no consequences. Braun didn't drown. I think that's really the only reasoning you can have, was that it was just in his head the whole time.
Or more so, the fight was never Bray versus Braun in that fight. The fight was just Bray versus the Fiend. Braun got out of the swamp. All fine, all good. The real winner of that fight was the Fiend versus Bray.
Yeah, we'll have to see how SmackDown goes, because they might throw in some lines, some cues that might point that way. And it also, that quote that he tweeted also kind of points that direction, because it's a quote from Swamp Thing. A swamp. I feel like he's being very on the nose right now. But
We talk about the mail.
the mail?
I didn't talk about the mail all day. That's what I feel like.
All right.
Name keeps coming up. Pepe Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia. Anyways.
All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
So a cinder block got thrown through the performance center window after some nerdy little or whatever yelled at the Retribution folks to stop what they were doing and get the hell out of here. But he also looked like he was probably like, it looked like it could have just been Dominic in all black, as the PA, just being like, "Hey, stop it!" Like, all right. Funny enough, I just want to say that the Performance Center looks really dark for having a whole ass production going on inside of it. That's just me, though. And then we have the weirdest promo of the night. Mickie James came back, which
I hated everything about this.
I was hoping with all of my heart that Mickie James was going to come back and Mickie James was going to maybe play a part in the Zelina match in some way. Only because I was like, well, Zelina's been out for a minute now. Mickie James has been out for a minute now. It's kind of like, hey, let's bring these two people back in like the actual wrestling ring. But first of all, Mickie James, as you pointed out, seemed kind of drunk. Just like not there. And then she was brought back in a promo and not just like some cool walkout, which would have been way more fun.
Yeah.
Like instead of having Seth versus Ray, or Seth beating up Dom for 10 minutes with a kendo stick, could have had like maybe a very short promo in ring. Like Natty and Lana are talking, and then Mickie James comes out, and it's like, whoa, crazy. Instead, we have this weird promo. Mickie James is there. Natty and Lana come back, and they're talking shit. Wearing the same outfit, too, which was all right. Lana says, how are you going to lead the locker room if you don't even have a TikTok?
That line just made me think, okay, this is awful. They hate Mickie James. And I hate them. This sucks.
The hardest part is that, like, how old is Lana? Let's see. So, for context, Mark is 23. I'm 24.
Whoa. What? Next thing you know, you're going to be giving out our social security number next episode.
Our shared social?
Yeah. It's like we each alternate numbers.
So, Lana's 35. And Natty is 38.
Mickie James is 40.
To watch... Huh?
Mickie James is 40.
Mickie James is 40?
Yeah.
So, to watch two women who are more than 10 years older than me, neither of us have a TikTok. I could never get into that. It was weird to me. It seemed like it was mostly for like 14-year-olds at the time that it came out.
And now it's just for
at
China.
the time that it got popular, I guess. That's a different story. But it felt like I think we were graduating from college by the time it really kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like something that like probably kids in like high school were still watching. And I don't shame people for watching it because like there are some funny things. I've fallen down a hole before on Twitter of like a thread of these goofy TikToks that are kind of like vines. To watch two 35, 38-year-old women
approaching 40
saying to lead. Well, Mickie James was not in the TikTok boat, okay?
No, I'm saying the other two are approaching 40.
Right, okay. Be like, how are you going to be popular if you don't have a TikTok? It's like, oh, I feel like I'm in like my high school's gym locker room right now, and I'm not comfy with it. I'm sitting at the cafeteria table again, and everything smells like pre-boxed red sauce or something.
And milk.
Ugh. If there's like one smell I would never want to smell again because I would probably puke, it'd be a school cafeteria. Anyways, I didn't get anything else out of that besides the fact that they're probably gonna set up Natty and Mickey to wrestle each other.
Yeah.
It's a real shame that Mickey James has to come back with what was a really lame ass promo. Because I was hoping for something a little more that, like, I'm not that hyped up about Mickey James coming back. Like, it's cool, I guess, but like, also, I would have been way more hyped if they were just like, if they did what they did when they brought Ricochet back after he was gone for a couple months. It was only a couple months. Mickey's been gone for like however long. Ricochet came out and I was like, oh my god, it's Ricochet! He's finally back! Or what they did with Mustafa Ali. It wasn't much. It was something. It got me kind of hyped up. I was like, yeah! Now I'm just watching these like late 30s, early 40s women talking like all catty to each other. Like,
could have even done what they did with Edge. Just have him be just another wrestler at Royal Rumble.
yeah, I think the Just Another Wrestler, like, intro, or re-intro, rather, does, like, a lot more for a character.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh my god, they're treating them like anyone else, but, like, it's this person.
Yeah.
Like, but also, to be totally fair, step outside the fact, hi, I see you. If we step outside the fact that, like, this is script, somebody wrote this, it just goes to show what they expect women to talk to each other regardless of age.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of women, we then go to Ivar backstage with that girl from The Bachelor. She's still backstage. Now she's flirting with Ivar. She was flirting with Angel last week. Now she's flirting with Ivar. Because women aren't throwing away title matches for friends, flirting with men. That's all we do. We either save our friends' asses from mean ladies, or we flirt. Nothing else. Unless you're Shayna Baszler, but she doesn't count, so.
She's a troll.
But she's my troll.
She's our troll.
Now, I used to not like her. I didn't like her one bit.
And then she fought Nia Jax.
Then she came back. She came back and I was like...
She's the wrestler that Raw needed.
She's the woman that got Nia Jax out of there and I was... Alright, sure. Welcome back, Shayna. I love you. I love you so much. And I'm sure if Shayna Baszler were to ever see this, she'd be like, I don't want that. And I'd be like, yeah, that's probably fair. But also there's a chance that she is another not straight wrestler. And personally, warms my little bisexual heart. And I'm here for that. Anyways. How annoying am I on a scale of 1 to 10?
11.
So then we had Ricochet and Cedric and the Viking Raiders versus Tozawa's Ninjas.
For whatever reason.
At first, I was like...
I said for whatever reason.
There was a good reason. The reason was not apparent at first. In fact, they, like... During Ivar's promo where the girl from The Bachelor is flirting with him, Ricochet and Cedric come up to him and with Eric. They're like, hey, we gotta start, like, we gotta get ready for our match. We're up next, and I can't find my wrist tape, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? And then sweet Mike Rome, announces that it's an 8-man tag match. Of course, my brain automatically did not connect any dots.
Mm-hmm.
When I realized it was Tozawa's Ninjas, I was like, huh, it'd be funny if R-Truth came out. So we start off with a kick to the Ninja's face by Ricochet. Cedric is in. Holds one of the ninjas while Cedric jumps off Ricochet jumps off the top rope onto the ninja. Also kind of landing on Cedric, which I was like, cool. And then they do their cute little team drop kick, or super kick, I think, on another ninja. The Viking Raiders are in. And then Zazawa's like, as he's watching his second ninja get decimated, Zazawa's like, hey, other ninja, third ninja, get out there. And third ninja's like, I'm not doing it, dude. I'm not doing it. Instead, third ninja, who looks familiar for whatever reason, like, hey, I got a plan. Grab your belt. Let's get going. We're going to go up the ramp. We're going to leave. Kirk throws the second ninja. Ivar powerbombs him. Kirk covers. They win. Zawa and his third ninja are still kind of making their escape. As they're walking away with the title, this familiar third ninja waves someone down the ramp, and it's a referee, because it's our truth, and it's been our truth all along, and he wins his 38th 24/7 title. Mark, would you like to do the honors?
He won the 24/7 I-95 South 7-Eleven. They made me watch all Reno 911 title belt back for the 38th time.
So many numbers! Oh, God.
My favorite part about that is it's not just I watched all episodes, it's they made me watch. Like, R-Truth, who made you watch all the episodes of Reno 911? Who did that to you?
It was Vince! It was Vince!
It was Ric Flair.
Rest in peace, brother. Oh, God. Didn't he accuse Ric Flair of being one of the ninjas at one point?
He accused Randy, I think. It was backstage.
Oh, yeah. Sweet, sweet boy. I'm trying to see if I have a scrunch that I can put in my hair because I'm sweating. I'm sweating over here. This isn't my scrunchy box. I don't even know where my good scrunch is.
You left it in the bathroom and put it on the door.
Oh. Found him. Don't worry. Anywho. And we go into sweet serendipity. Drew McIntyre's here tonight, boys. Why is Drew McIntyre here tonight? I don't know. Or do I? He looks tired. He looks tired as hell. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
A list or something.
Oh god. Oh god. Well, everyone admire my nice Photoshop. Where we see the superiority of Raw to SmackDown right now. And in the meantime, while Liz searches for something, we're gonna talk about my favorite. Oh god. My favorite kinds of paper. Oh, thank God Liz is back. Okay, what's up? What was it?
There's just liquid on the floor, and I don't really know why.
That's weird. Did you spill
It
something?
doesn't. I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'll check with you after the podcast is over.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm gonna ignore it, though, because I stepped right in it, so at this point, it's a moot point. Anyways. So. There's mystery liquid on my foot. What was your list about, by the way?
I stammered for too long, and I was going to talk about my favorite paper, and I'm glad you stopped me before that.
So we then have Drew, and he's talking to, I think it was Charlie. It's Charlie. And he's just looking a little sleepy today. He was looking a little tired. Didn't really look like he wanted to be there. But he's doing what he does best, which is being petty as all get out it's not really a shocker to me that they did not let him have a microphone to hold tonight. He claims that Randall is currently working purely out of self-preservation. Which I guess maybe that was true. Who's to say? And then Drew does what he also does best, which is going on and on about the history of the WWE. Like he talks so much about like the upbringings of like different wrestlers and like all these old matches and like X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, Drew, we've got 4 minutes of this. What are we doing? Just kidding. I love when he talks and talks. He addresses Randy directly, and he says that in lieu of last week when Randy said that Drew has no original thoughts about Randy, he says that he has some new ones. And yeah, can you not lick the mystery liquid? I don't know what you're doing. I assume if you're licking it, it's not something you're interested in. Or rather, from you. So his new original thoughts are pretty much that he's going to murder Randy at SmackDown at SummerSlam. Which, fair enough. I guess that's an original thought. He's looking directly in the camera for most of this, which was stressful. And then Charlie says, "Hey, Drew, hang on there." Drew was talking about Randy holding a torch or passing on the torch or whatever. I have no clue what he said.
It's him taking or him having the torch of Raw right now.
Okay. So then Charlie's like, "Hey, but like he's fighting Kevin Owens tonight. What happens if Kevin wins?" And I said, "Yeah, what if?" To which Drew responds, "If that happens, Kevin and I will have a long talk about the future of Monday Night Raw." What? He didn't know what he was saying the whole time. He said that, and I really lost the plot. And then we had to sit through Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan versus the Iconics again. Well, more so Liv Morgan versus Peyton Royce.
You want to skip right over this?
I'll summarize it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Liv looked really good in the beginning. There was hair pulling. It's a women's match. Why wouldn't there be? Liv covers, Peyton covers, Liv covers, Peyton covers. Who cares anymore? No one. Billy goes to attack Liv. Ruby defends Liv. Referee says, "Hey, Ruby, get the hell out of the ring." He's like, "I was only on the ropes because Billy was trying to attack my friend." And then Peyton takes advantage of this distraction, slams Liv into the canvas across her shoulders, pins her to win. Now Liv is mad at Ruby again because Liv thinks that Ruby interfered with the match and caused her to lose.
You tired yet?
Do you think we're... I literally, the last note I wrote for this match was pin and win, and my tummy hurts, and I am tired.
That's fair.
So, yes. I am tired. Because apparently, the women of wrestling, as I said, I probably should add something in here, they're only good at fighting with their friends, defending their friends, and pulling hair. Oh, and flirting. Sorry, I forgot flirting.
Very important. Or if you're Lana, getting divorced.
Yeah, apparently like wrestling for wrestling's sake is not in the playbook, if you will.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're not here for that. Which is why I love Rhea Ripley. Because, yeah, she did get in a fight with her friend, but you know what she's doing now? Doesn't give a shit. She just wants that title. That's a bitch. And then it was 10 o'clock. You know what that means? Shane McMahon. Shane O'Mac.
Shane O'Mac.
Shane, oh my god. How is Vince still letting you do this? We did get to see Baby Edge get his ass beaten. Did Shane say the man's name? Yes. Am I going to continue to call him Baby Edge because I did not listen to Shane when he was talking? Yes. Because Shane's words are just kind of like in here, out there.
Yeah.
And Mark and I have decided, unless something very special happens, we are not taking notes for Raw Underground. I cannot bring myself to do it. There's 400 camera cuts. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's just promos. That's what I consider it.
The only interesting thing that we are getting out of this right now is that we are seeing trainees. Like, the trainees that have been standing in the crowd this whole time, we're finally getting to see some of them actually wrestle, which is kind of cool because, like, all I've seen them do so far is clap and cheer. And there's a lot of guys I want to see wrestle. Like, I want to see EJ and Duca wrestle. I want to see the really tall, very, very large man that always stands near the ramp wrestle. I want to see Rick Buggs get his shit punched in.
Like I've said, we talk shit about Rick Buggs a lot, but I personally think he'd be a really good personality in the ring. He's got a lot of energy for it. I just think outside of the ring as a spectator, he's very annoying.
I would genuinely love to see Rick Buggs over Dominic Mysterio any day of the week.
Yeah. And I'm sure Rick Buggs has put the work into getting there. I've seen his Twitter videos.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute. And I'm sure that he and Dominic do not have any discrepancy in amount of talent. So, whatever. I could go on about that all night, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, we still have
I might.
a little bit ways to go tonight.
We don't have too much farther to go, actually. We're almost there.
We got 2 big matches.
Especially because the main event... 3, some might say.
No, I wouldn't call that last one a match. That was a mercy killing. That's like shooting a deer when its leg is broken.
Or like when you hit it with a car.
Yeah.
Sorry, that almost sounded like hitting the deer with a car on purpose. That's not what I meant.
Yeah. Mercy kill a deer with a car. that's why I make roadkill, because mercy killing.
I have been in a car that hit a deer and I cried because I thought it was a dog at first, actually, but then I realized it was a deer and I was very upset. And I've accidentally killed 2 animals with my car. One was a bird. One was a squirrel. Both times I had a panic attack and sobbed. So I would never do that on purpose. I just want to put that out there. In case there is anyone watching, and if anyone's watching, they are like... Anyways, off the topic of roadkill, for the moment. And on to Asuka versus Bayley. Which, at first I was confused why this wasn't the main event. Then I understood why it wasn't the main event. I guess. I do understand. But anyways, out of the gate, Asuka dropkicks Bayley. And Bayley, she gets sent to the corner with a nasty little hip attack. Bayley gets Asuka caught up in the ropes and then slams her face first into the canvas. Then we got Asuka just getting flattened with a suplex and then a headlock, and the lights are flickering because Retribution flipped over a car at some point between now and the last thing they did. I did not make a note of that because it kind of looked like Braun's car, which you pointed out.
Imagine, because there is a link between with Retribution on Raw and SmackDown. I mean, that knocked over box, that might have been Otis, actually, as we saw on SmackDown. This might be Braun's car that was knocked over.
Wouldn't it be weird? I wanna entertain this for a second. I know
Oh,
this
no.
does not exist in the world, but imagine if, like, one day WWE comes crumbling to the ground, right? And for their final hurrah, they're just like Raw and SmackDown and NXT for this time period are all in like these weird, like, little, like, wormholes of time. They're all happening at the same time in the same space on top of each other, basically. But they aren't in the same reality plane. So technically, Otis knocked over that box while talking to Kayla. Charlie sees it like 5 seconds later, and she's like, "Oh man, this box got knocked over. What the hell?" She doesn't see that Otis is actually there because Otis doesn't see that she's there.
And the
Hire me.
only people
Hire
that
me.
can cross dimensions are Bailey and Sasha.
Anyways, stay tuned for our movie. Telling that one to WWE right now. Vince on the phone. Anyways, I guess we're talking about a wrestling match. So Asuka gets kicked in the stomach. She goes to kick Bailey, but Bailey catches her. Manages to kick Bailey in the face. Kind of got a leg up for a minute. Got her forearms out to her. German suplexed her. She was looking good. And then Bailey threw Asuka into the ropes. Or Asuka threw Bailey into the ropes, sorry. My notes are a little screwy. Bailey got tangled. Asuka managed to climb along the ropes and step down onto Bailey's arm. Then Asuka was on the top rope, went for the flying dropkick. Do not go near that weird puddle of water. I don't know what it is yet. It might just be my sweat.
Could it be from
Imagine.
her bowl of water?
No, because it's far away from there.
Yeah.
She's just investigative little rat. Investigative little rat. Then Sasha distracts Asuka because that's what she's good for in these situations. Asuka then gets tangled up in an ankle lock from Bailey. And it goes exactly how you would expect it to go. Asuka gets tangled in the ankle lock, and Bailey targets the ankle with a few DDTs on it. Sasha once again interferes. It's looking bad. She slams the ankle against the side of the apron. Asuka's in the corner. But she manages to come back. Octopus lock on Bailey. Manages an armbar on Bailey as she's trying to struggle away. She's flailing at this point. Bailey manages to roll her up. But Asuka kicks out. She then goes for the double knees, but Bailey catches her in an Indian lock, I think what it was called. And it, there's some more Bailey just beating Asuka down. It's the very same beats that they go through every time. Asuka goes for the belly-to-belly suplex. It doesn't seem like a smart idea. And Bailey, stop licking the water. I don't know what it is. Bailey fights her off the ropes, and she gets into position for an elbow drop. It connects. There's a cover, and Asuka has like one last rigor mortis spasm kick out somehow. Bailey sunset flips Asuka into the buckle, then makes fun of Kairi, which and Asuka takes her down into an Asuka lock. Bailey taps, takes the referee at least 14 taps for him to notice. And now Asuka is fighting Sasha at SummerSlam, as you should have expected. And I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting for the slow demise of Bailey and Sasha. Nice. Then we got Arturo Ruas on Underground. Avocado was beating somebody up. And Shayna got in, and I was like, Oh, yes. Yes, Dabba-Kato versus Shayna. He's not going to see what's coming. The cat's licking my leg right now. Anyways, enjoying yourself? Instead, Shane gets Dabba-Kato out of the ring and is like, who wants to fight Shayna? And like, no one wants to fight her because she's scary. And there's 2 women in the crowd, it seems. So she just goes and attacks the one that doesn't look like a soccer mom. And then the one that looks like a soccer mom attacks her. And then one girl who looks kind of like a hotter Ronda Rousey comes in, and I was like, but Shayna manages to take on all 3 of them. I didn't take any notes on this. This is just what I remember. I just don't know why that girl that looked like an absolute Karen was standing in the crowd waiting for that to happen to her.
She was there for her son.
Like, she did not fit in. Everyone's out there like wearing like black t-shirts and like white like tank tops. She's here with like her striped like little like palazzo top. Like, got that at TJ Maxx for $20. Her little sneakers. I was like, what are you doing today? Also, Swerve got his ass beat last week and he's still there betting on the matches. And I'm just saying, Swerve, I'm worried about you. So worried. Nothing to add to this? Okay. She just wants to be pet. Anyways. On to the most important match of the night. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
Wait, wasn't there another Retribution bit?
You mentioned it. It was the one with the car.
Oh, okay.
That's why I went on my whole tangent of alternate timelines and such. Stop licking the water. I don't know what it is.
You're making me very worried about what the water is.
It's not her.
No, like, it could be something she can't drink.
If it's anything, it's probably, and I hate to say this. I hate to say this on camera. My legs are crossed. Okay? It's probably sweat. I've said it on camera now. It's 82 degrees. I don't have AC on. I'm sweating through my shirt. It's probably that.
Okay. Okay.
Or it's alcohol.
Which
I've got an eye on her.
She still should not have it. She will be drunk.
I'm literally facing the cat.
Okay.
I've got like my feet over the spot, I promise. I don't want a drunk cat. Especially not on a live stream. Then I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Pete's going to start swearing. I guarantee you it's sweat. And I hate to admit to that. But I think it is. Okay? Happy? My hand's getting licked. Anyways, I hope you're having fun. Randy comes out, looks like a creep, as always. Love that for him. It really was it for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. He and Kevin are kind of snuggling in the corner for a minute there. Little arms around each other's necks. Very cute. I like to patronize the men's matches just because I get so mad about the women's matches. I feel like this just kind of makes it even.
Yeah.
We get a headlock on Kevin Owens. Forearms to Randy. He returned, or forearms from Randy rather, and then Kevin returns the favor. And Randy wasn't looking too hot for a minute there. Kevin punched the Viper. Randy kind of slapped him a little bit and gave him a sort of non-committal uppercut. Get away from the water. Then Kevin slammed Randy into the announce desk. Kicked Randy. Slapped in the chest by Randy afterwards. Kevin goes for the stunner. Randy goes for an RKO. Neither of them succeed. It was very weird. Kevin Owens manages to cannonball twice on Randy. Once in the ring and once out of the ring. And then Randy says, no, this is going the wrong way. Throws Kevin Owens into the stairs, and then the barricade. Takes a little breather. It's crisscross applesauce in the ring. Calms himself down, and then throws Kevin Owens into another set of stairs. Kicks him in the neck, stomps on both of his little ankles, paces like a creep for a minute, and stomps on the stomach. And it just wasn't looking good. Then tries to gouge Kevin's eyes out, which I am not liking the themes that we're getting, because there's been eye to finger contact at least twice in every episode of Raw so far since the eye for an eye match. And during a pandemic, we don't need to do this trend. It's fine. Randy is being set up for a powerbomb, but he manages to boop himself out of the ring. And then does a belly-to-back suplex to Kevin Owens to the announce desk, and Kevin Owens definitely knocked his head into one of the monitors. Because right where he landed is right, like his head, the base of his head was right by one of the corners of the monitor, and I was like, just savoring this moment. We're getting there. So ultimately where it kind of goes is Kevin tries for the stunner again, and Randy says, again, that's definitely not how this match is ending. I'm not losing to Kevin Owens. RKO's the jeebus out of him. And suddenly Kevin Owens is no longer in the ring. Randy says to Rick, calls over for a microphone, says to Rick, hey, we need to celebrate. We also need to talk. And at that point, I realized he was about to kill a 70-year-old man. I kind of thought he was going to RKO a 70-year-old man.
Oh.
We got worse. We got so much worse.
Oh, man.
Which brings us to the final match of the evening.
Again, it's a mercy killing.
Really, build up to this was far too much. Far more than I needed. Just as much as I wanted. To be honest there. It was perfect. It was chef's kiss. Mwah. So good. Mostly because Ric Flair has been annoying me as of late, but that's... So Randy gets the microphone. He's mad because he's been set up for like these ridiculous matches, like teaming up with Andrade and Angel and fighting Kevin Owens, all because Ric Flair's like, oh, I've got an idea here, boys. He says that he doesn't love or respect Rick anymore. Calls him a whore and a junkie, because again, another theme. And really, I don't know what Ric Flair said. I have no clue what he said. All I know is that Rick started talking about Cowboy Bob Orton. And Randall walked towards the ropes, and I said, oh, no. Okay. So ultimately, they end up hugging, because Rick talks about when he was in intensive care and was in a coma for a handful of days. And how he just wanted to, he got out of that coma, he just wanted to tell the people that he loved them. He wanted to be more present or whatever. I have no clue. All I know is he almost started crying, and I was like, oh man, Randy can't RKO him now. This feels bad. So instead of that, they hugged. Randy turned him around and just
Groped
balls. Him. Yeah. And then, as the 71-year-old man is laying on the ground, clutching his old balls, Randy hovers over him, as he often does, whispering sweet little nothings into his ear, as he often does. And Rick got on all fours, and I said, "Oh no." And Retribution said, "We'll do this one for you, boys." Randy winds up for the kick. A kick Pat McAfee would be jealous of. And the lights go out, and then Ric Flair is dead in the ring.
Retribution said, "Would you like a blindfold before you're executed?"
We can't offer you any liquor or cigarettes, however.
Oh my god.
And then, just to make matters worse and more frustrating for me personally, Drew McIntyre comes out after having said not nice stuff to Rick last week. Drew McIntyre says, "I am the ultimate babyface." Jumps in the ring as Randall just paces at the top of the ramp after walking away. And says, "You have everything coming to you, Randy." And Randy just... I don't even know what that was. Like, I don't know what that movement was. He just opened his mouth and moved his tongue a little bit and then kept going.
What if we don't see Retribution ever again, and that was their only purpose? To cover up Ric Flair's death.
The thing was that, like, when I was, like, looking for news articles, I saw that they were planning to write Ric Flair out entirely, and I was like, well, you guys held a retirement ceremony for him, so I don't know why we have to write him out the script. You literally brought him back to manage Randall. That aside, but that all aside, I thought the article kind of said, like, hey, we're not able to do that right now because, like, everything's going wrong with our script writing and everything's a mess. So it sounded like they were going to hold off until after SummerSlam. Because literally, like, last week I reported that Ric Flair wants to manage Randy at SummerSlam. And then they said, whoop, went over on you. So we spent literally 10 minutes watching the beginning of the end for Ric Flair. While Randy hovered over his body.
Whispered sweet
and
nothings.
Whispered, just like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I was like, "You look like you're going to lick his face. Stop." Anyways, so tonight on Raw, we watched a 23-year-old boy get beaten up by a 30-some-odd-year-old man, and then we watched a, however the hell old Randy Orton is,
71.
murder. I said Randy Orton.
Oh, 71.
We watched a 71-year-old Randy Orton who's looking phenomenal for his age. Murder another elder of the council.
Yeah, it's kind of like a really weird dog fight, but it's really old men.
I really thought Drew was going to lose his title at SummerSlam, but now that Randy Orton killed Ric Flair, I kind of get a funny vibe, but maybe that's not going to happen. Oh.
So want to move into our best of the night?
I mean, if you're going to tell me that the best promo of the night was not Ric Flair getting his balls chopped in half,
What do you...
best fight of the night wasn't Ric Flair getting his balls chopped in half, and the best fighter of the night wasn't Ric Flair's balls, I don't know.
Would you consider that a promo, though?
Yes, because it promoted Drew and Randy. In a weird sense.
Okay. Are you going to change a sign?
Yeah, I'm just getting over myself here.
Everybody excuse the chair squeaking a lot.
Sure.
My chair squeaking.
Sure, this week and all too. Do. Rest of the night.
Alright. Ready for the best promo of the night?
Run it back.
So I didn't take notes on all of these. I when you were going over the whole program, I missed some. Like I missed the Drew McIntyre interview. I missed writing it down at the very least.
Okay. Say, how could you? I was fawning.
So I'm just gonna say what I wrote down because nothing that I didn't write down was gonna be promo of the night anyway. So we started off with the contract signing between Seth and Dominic. I'm tired of seeing Dominic, but I like seeing Seth.
He only just started.
But I like seeing Seth, so. And then we had Andrade and Angel in the ring with Zelina, talking about how she didn't do it, yada yada yada. Dawkins comes in. Then we had VIP Lounge, which is a top contender for me. VIP Lounge was good tonight, especially with Apollo's shiny teeth. He could be in a Chip Skylark music video.
He is Chip Skylark. He's the Chip Skylark of WWE.
Oh, he is. His shiny teeth and him.
Next edit.
And then we had the interview with Mickie James, where she made her underwhelming return. Then we had the promo with Ivar, where the Bachelor girl was hitting on her. Had Ricochet and Cedric and Eric. Then we had more Raw Underground, which I thought was better than last week. Maybe not actually, because last week had Hurt Business trashing the place, and that was like probably going to be the highlight of Raw Underground. And then we had more Retribution with the car, poor Braun Strowman. And then we had Ric Flair's Mercy Killing. And I gotta give it to that. Ric Flair died for this. He's, he may be a creepy old man who's been in the game for too long, but he can cut a hell of a promo. Like, my God, his speech about being in a coma, like, if I wasn't laughing about Randy, the potential of Randy possibly saying, "I'll put you in a coma too," I would have been crying. But, I mean, both of them are incredible. Then you have Drew basically turning around and being like, this guy was an asshole to me and to other wrestlers, but Randy didn't need to do this. It was incredible performances from everybody. It was a hell of a promo, and it just makes me so much more excited for SummerSlam.
I'm sorry. That, like...
I can't believe Liz is laughing at a poor 71-year-old man dying. And she doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. She finds Ric Flair's death so funny.
I'm sorry. It's just... when you pair it all with Randy Orton's song... the 10-minute build-up to this poor man getting absolutely decimated. It's equal parts comedy and tragedy, you have to say. Oh my God, it was just...
Anyway.
Mark and I have this running joke of, like, that song being played after, like, tragedies. Which isn't funny, but, like, it's kind of funny.
It's like the Sail by AWOL Nation.
It's because they played it after he, like, punted Christian, and they didn't stop. Like, they played it the whole time that he was hovering over Christian with his, like, lips grazing Christian's ear. They didn't stop. It just kept going.
I think they played it when
And
Big Show died too.
it's just... It's so funny, and it shouldn't be. Because I know that that's not what Randy Orton's going for.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, like, what Ric Flair said was very serious. But just the 10-minute build-up to watching Randy hand the microphone over and just being like, his hands are free. And then watching him walk away, and you're, like, positive he's going to RKO this man. And you're thinking in your head, like, what is the safest way to RKO a 71-year-old man who may or may not have just had coronavirus? What's the safest way to do that? Apparently it's grab him by the balls. Anywho, no, that's obviously the promo of the night. Everything else was trash in comparison.
Well,
I will even say that about Drew's promo. Because he didn't get to hold a microphone and talk for 5 hours.
I wouldn't say the VIP lounge was trash in comparison. It was the second place contender here.
Drew's promo is second place for me. However,
Fighter of the night?
it was...
Oh, continue.
It was just... For me personally, it was equal parts humor. I think for other people, because I also saw other people tweeting about it online, it was equal parts humor and just equal parts just like, oh, wow. It was actually kind of emotional. And then to just see Drew McIntyre get to reap all the benefits of what happened, I was like, all right. I'm going to sit back on this one. Yes, we can go into Fighter of the Night now.
Real quick, the promo of the night for me would have been Raw Underground if they hadn't gotten rid of the strippers.
If they hadn't gotten rid of the strippers and if they let Shayna Baszler fight Dabba-Kato.
Yeah.
That's what would have done it.
No, if she'd fought Shane McMahon.
You know 100% if she was like, Shane, I want to fight you, he'd be like, all right, sure.
Mike Rome, come down
He'd
here.
dive into that ring. He would like jump up on like one of the pieces of scaffolding and just dive down. They'd be like, why'd you do that, dude? And be like, it's my thing. It's my thing.
Alright, so Fighter of the Night. I will say now that this one's tough. So we started with Humberto versus Seth. Good way to start off the night. My pick here is Humberto. He's obviously an amazing fighter. One of the best to watch. But at the same time, he doesn't have that extra bit of character flair thrown in. Like, he's very much a silent protagonist. He doesn't do much. He just comes in and fights and defends Rey Mysterio's lineage.
I do want to say that I think we're going to see good things from him soon, though, because he is a really impressive fighter.
Yeah.
I just would like to see like a promo with him, maybe. I don't think we're asking for that much.
You know what they might do? Because Dominic might not be ready to go solo yet after SummerSlam, they might have him and Humberto do a tag team. Yeah, I know.
Leave Alistair out of it this time, please.
So after that, we had Dawkins versus Andrade. And although it wasn't a short match, I think Dawkins was the better here. He had some not-so-great-looking moves, though. A couple ones that just did not really land how they should have and weren't executed well. But he wasn't bad. Just didn't have that many great moments. And then you had Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega. And, I mean, who else am I going to pick for this besides Bianca? She's awesome. She's powerful. She's full of life in every way possible. She was definitely one of the things missing from Raw, and I'm glad she's back. And she's not just being thrown into pointless matches that she has no place in, like Mustafa Ali. Um, I think she fits very well in the story, mostly because she's married to somebody who was poisoned. But she did amazing today. And then we go into Apollo versus Shelton, and Apollo always looks amazing. I think he has the best power bomb in WWE. Was it the turning power bomb or the tossing power bomb? Um, it he's such a powerful man, but can also just perform so amazingly. Um, I want them to add a little more character to him because he's still very much just that face that's kind of just there. He doesn't have any kind of personality to him. He's just there. Um, and then after that, we had Tozawa and his ninjas versus the Viking Raiders, Cedric and Ricochet, which God, I don't know who to give this to. Eric, I guess, since he did the last blow. Um, there was nothing there to even consider. And then Liv versus Peyton, and again, not much there. I'm gonna give it to Peyton because I love her finishing move. Her finishing move is so cool. What do you remember what the name of it is? It's like kind of a DDT, I think.
I don't think. Oh, I don't know what it is.
I am going to give it to you in just a second. Um,
Also, the way that like he splices Rick's balls and then pets his head. I'm not over it.
oh, you're still talking about Randy and Rick?
Yes. Yes.
Shoot, I can't find it. Okay, so yeah, Peyton was the best out of that fight because she is awesome. She had that nice finisher at the end, but I mean, besides that, neither wrestler really had anything impressive. And then after that, we had Asuka versus Bayley. A really good match. I'll be very honest, it was a really good match. Bayley was performing, Asuka was performing. They were both really good at what they were doing. My pick here is, I didn't write it down, mostly because it's kind of hard with these two. Because Asuka isn't really on the top of her game right now. She's not so much impressive as she is kind of getting the job done when she does. I mean, most of the time she's losing, but um, I think I'm gonna give it to Asuka for this match, mostly because of how intense her holds were, her locks. And then lastly, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. This one is toughest for me because although Randy is probably one of the best wrestlers that WWE has right now, Kevin Owens put up probably the most impressive showing I have seen in a long, long time. We all expected him to just be absolutely decimated tonight, and he put up
Yeah.
a hell of a fight, and I might give him the edge because he did the Viper at the end. Although his stunner was countered, the Viper was just such a perfect little cherry on the cake for him. Um, like Randy today was basically the same Randy we have been seeing, albeit just a little less dominating. He was still performing the same way he normally does, which is amazingly. But I think as far as seeing a wrestler really like come out more than normal, Kevin Owens really did that today, and I'm gonna give him the fighter of the night for my pick.
I was gonna pick Kevin. This is like one of the first times in a while that I've actually known exactly like who I wanted to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Because going into this match, I really didn't think that this... I kind of thought, like, oh, this is going to be a situation where they're going to have Randy fighting Kevin. He's going to be pummeling Kevin. Drew's going to come out. He's going to pummel Randy for the sake of Kevin. We're going to have a DQ because we've had so many DQs recently. And then I kind of thought that that would give Drew the most recent win against Randy, which means going into SummerSlam, he'd lose the title. It's better if he loses the title away from, like, a live crowd so that he can win the title back in front of a live crowd. I really thought that that's what was going to happen. I kind of thought I had it figured out. And that's probably when I should have known that I didn't have it figured out because I never get it right. And I'm kind of fine with that. Sometimes. Yeah. Kevin is definitely my pick of the night. I was impressed by the way he fought. I was impressed by the way he kept fighting. I don't know if maybe he looked better because Randy looked not great tonight.
I don't know if I'd say that. And also throw in his little feuding with Ric Flair too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Because we also get to see, like, a not so nice side of Kevin, and we don't see that super often.
But it's still...
I mean, he calmly took 2 slaps in the face last week, so...
I think Kevin Owens is one of those faces that is not like the Apollo Crews face. Like, Apollo Crews is very much just nice guy, doesn't do anything. Kevin Owens is like, he's a really nice guy who sticks up for other wrestlers. He's basically the guy. He's the guy at Raw that everyone kind of, like... I could see him as being someone everybody kind of looks up to. He's kind of like the father of Raw right now. And this is like Kevin Owens, the father of Raw, sticking up for his kids, beating up the kids' bully.
I like it. Also, speaking father of Raw.
Wait, what? I can't really see them.
Can't see the child that is overexposed.
Is that Dominic?
Yes, that is Dominic. There you go. Seth just posted that.
Wow.
Anywho, fight of the night.
So, fight of the night. We start off with Humberto versus Seth. Good fight. Good way to start the night. Like I said, Humberto just needs that extra level of character, which you probably won't get in this storyline. But otherwise, it was really good. And it led into a very brutal ending with Dominic that you don't see very often in WWE. And I'm kind of glad they did it because it kind of shows that they're not going the predictable route. The predictable route would have been having like Alistair or Humberto come out and save Dominic before any of this happened. But no, they went the whole way. They went all 9 yards, and although I didn't like seeing all of those bruises and scratches on Dominic just because it looks painful. It was a very shocking addition to Raw that was kind of needed, but also not really needed because I wouldn't want anyone to have to go through that. But it was a decent fight, all in all. And then we have Dawkins versus Andrade, which wasn't a very long fight. Not too much to say here. Both wrestlers were alright. The lead-in, or this fight out of this whole story is not what we were looking for. What we were looking for was the next fight. So this one was very much just a way to kill time. But then we move into Bianca versus Zelina, the one we have been waiting for this storyline, and it kind of paid off. Kind of. It was a decent fight. Really good to see Bianca. Zelina, she was aight. She was okay. I mean, it's her first match back in a while. But it wasn't very long. not much came out of it. So, And then we have Apollo Crews versus Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin. Again, that was an alright fight. I'm not leaning one way or the other in this fight. I don't think it was super impressive. But I don't think it was bad in any right. Neither wrestler really did poorly. I want MVP and Apollo to kind of split ways right now. I feel like their feud's been going on for a little too long. So after that, we had Tozawa and the Ninjas versus Viking Raiders, Cedric and Ricochet. Lasted 2 seconds. I'm not going to talk about it. And then Liv versus Peyton Royce. Lasted basically 2 seconds. I don't know why we got this fight. We kind of got the feud over with last week. I don't know why they decided to throw in Liv mad at Ruby again. I don't know. But, we got to see Peyton's finisher, which is nice. And then Asuka versus Bayley. It was a good match. Really good match, actually. Yeah, there wasn't too much here. It was just like straight up wrestling from the two of them. Very, very nice to see. Sasha tried to cheat at one point. What did she try and do? What did Sasha try and do?
She, at one point, hang on. I know for a fact one thing that she did was she attacked Asuka's ankle. That was the second thing she did. So she distracted Asuka at first, which helped Asuka get into, or helped Bayley get Asuka into an ankle lock. And then after the ankle lock was administered multiple times in multiple ways, she then, when the referee was distracted with Bayley, she wrenched Asuka's ankle over the side of the apron.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. I just want them to move on from the storyline already, because it seems like they're just recycling material week and week and week.
Well, with Shayna back, with Mickie James back, there's a deeper singles female roster that I think they can pull from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because they brought Mickie back, now Natty's coming back. Now that Natty's coming back, I don't know if Lana's ever coming back per se, but I know that she's going to be around more.
Remember?
So I think that they're kind of, digging into it.
Remember when Natty said that Lana was going to be the face of women's wrestling months ago? Oh, good times. But the last fight, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. I mean, come on. I gotta give it to this. It had an amazing fight. It had a great lead-in that we all expected Kevin Owens to be decimated. We were all shocked when he actually put up a really good fight. And then it led into Ric Flair getting shot out back by Randy Orton. I mean, God, this fight had everything. It really did have everything. And when Kevin first countered the RKO, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Kevin can win this. But yeah, that for sure is the fight of the night, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
Listen. Yeah, Randy. Pretty a plus for me. Yeah, Kevin Owens looking phenomenal. Out of nowhere, if you will. We got that, which led into the Ric Flair, which led into Drew being the ultimate face, which led into me being like, maybe I'm going to get everything I want out of the SummerSlam match, which is watching both Drew and Randy fight, and then watching Drew come out victorious. Maybe I'm going to get it all. Who's to say? So yeah, I've got to choose them as my fight of the night. There's no doubt about it. It was a really well written fight. If I see an article that says they went into this row with no script, I'm gonna be like, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
You guys don't need a script. You did it amazingly. And Sean Ross, I think it was Sean Ross, said that they kind of did a very smart thing with the lights, because the whole time I was saying, how are you gonna punt? How are you gonna RKO? How are you gonna do anything like that to a 71-year-old man? They were like, movie magic, baby. And I was like, oh, okay. Sure. But yeah, it was perfect. And I think a good fight. Even though, like, going into this fight, I was like, why are we doing this? I think a good fight is good fighting. Elements of a storyline that matter and give us a progression on a character or something like that.
Right.
We not only got to see Kevin Owens looking phenomenal, which we knew Kevin was a good wrestler, but we haven't really seen this Kevin Owens in a minute. Probably not since he and Seth were going at it. So I was really happy with this. We got Randy being pushed further into heel, which he was already a heel, but like
Now
I feel like there's heel and then there's heel.
Now he's mega heel.
Yeah. And Drew getting pushed from face to the biggest goddamn face in the entire company. Like, he is what Jeff Hardy wishes he was. Yeah, I really like this. I like this because it gave us everything we wanted in a fight, plus it gave us a lead into a bunch of stuff that I wasn't even expecting to see tonight.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we're in agreement.
More Clay less.
And you know what's funny? The promo fighter and fight of the night all came from the last 30 minutes.
First of all, you didn't even catch what I said there, did you?
I said talk. You said talk more Clay less, right? Yeah.
Which is what Drew did tonight. Also, did I not just call that, like, in the beginning of this whole thing? The beginning of the entire Best of the Night, I was like, if it's not Rick's balls getting spliced open all 3 times, you're wrong. And in theory, I got it right, so thanks. Yeah. A cat.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Just to run it back, we've got our promo of the night, Ric Flair's mercy killing. Fighter of the night, Kevin Owens. And fight of the night, Kevin Owens versus Randall Keith Orton.
Versus the voices in his head.
No, it's with the voices in his head, because he's not fighting against them.
Or he's just letting it happen now.
Yeah.
All right. This was an exciting evening. I can literally not promise that Wednesday or Friday will be any more exciting. I can almost guarantee you Friday won't be. That's okay. Because Jose Altuve struck out tonight so hard his helmet fell off.
I think Wednesday and Friday are both going to be exciting. And here's my reasoning. Friday, first off, because we have the triple brand Rumble, triple brand Battle Royale, actually. That, I think, is going to be very exciting. And wasn't there something happening? Oh, we've got Karrion Kross versus Danny Burch, where Danny Burch is being used as enhancement talent.
In honor of Oni Boni Bananagrams and his murder. I got my ass beat on NXT.
No, it's actually, I got it wrong. It's, I got my ass beat on USA Network.
I'm in love with him. He's such a psycho. But we are also getting the first of the matches because Dexter Lumis is broken, and I'm very upset about it. I won't be upset about it if Finn gets a buy-in to the goddamn
I don't
5-way.
I don't think that's happening this week because
It
I
is.
looked back
It is.
at the quote of who said it was a William Regal? He said it's gonna be like 2 weeks from last week. They're gonna be 2 matches.
I implore you to look at a calendar. Look at the calendar. Yes, I see you down here. I see you. If we look at a calendar, we will see that there is currently 2 Wednesdays before TakeOver. They're having these matches with those who are not pinned or submitted
Mhm.
during the 3-ways. There's going to be 2 matches, I think William said. I know it's not just Finn and Johnny. He said that it's going to be anyone who is not pinned or submitted is probably going to face one of them.
Mhm.
And I think he said in 2 matches over the course of the next 2 weeks. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're seeing.
Oh.
I hope we're not seeing Finn and Johnny because I'm tired. But,
Yeah. I'll look it up after the podcast is over.
oh, I thought you said oh. I was like,
Oh no.
but I assume that's what we're going to see. Kind of hope it is. Want to see Fergal?
And I want to see Johnny.
No respect. No respect at all. And Bobby Fish.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
It wasn't done.
Huh?
It wasn't done.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for watching. We will be back. Ow. We'll be back on Wednesday. And might be more relaxed by Wednesday. So maybe we'll have our shit together. But if you watch, thank you for watching. I do want to thank, assuming you're still here. If you're not, maybe you'll see this.
If you watch,
I want to thank Machine Noodles.
Sorry.
I finish what I'm saying.
Sorry. Yes.
I want to thank Machine Noodles for being in the chat tonight. And I want to thank anyone who is watching tonight. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, because you didn't see it first time around, I want to thank you for watching on YouTube. It's just as important to me. Please listen to me complain. I have a lot of opinions. And sadly, there's no baseball tonight, so I had to make new opinions about things I didn't normally care about. So please tune in on Wednesday. And that's all I gotta say. Anything else?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please follow the stream if you enjoyed. Hit the little bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live. And then follow our Twitter. Twitter is at the Pinfall Cast. Remove the pod, and there's a Twitter. And follow our individual Twitters. I am at the Mark Cameron, and Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. Our handles are both in the description of the podcast Twitter. So you'll find that all there. And follow my personal Twitch, twitch.tv/MarkCameron. We're working on something awesome, a combination of wrestling and Pokemon. Definitely check it out. Liz is the Triple H of our little project.
Quadruple E.
And I don't know what I'd even call myself. But it's awesome. Check it out. We're having our first title tournament coming up very soon on August 22nd. So definitely check in on Wednesday, which will be the next time I go live. So, and that's it. Have a good one, everybody. Maybe my mic will be working next time.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.